Viewers, in a major milestone for space exploration, NASA and SpaceX have successfully launched the Crew-10 mission to bring two U.S. astronauts, Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore, back home after a lengthy 9-month stay aboard the International Space Station. The mission lifted off from Kennedy Space Center in Florida, and it aims to replace the stranded astronauts and ensure a smooth handover of operations at the International Space Stations. Now, SpaceX's Dragon capsule has docked to the station with 4 Crew-10 members, and this includes NASA astronauts McClain and Nichole Ayers, Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency astronaut Takuya Onishi, and Roscosmos, or the Russian Space Agency's astronaut Kirill Peskov. They have arrived at the International Space Station as the SpaceX Dragon spacecraft docked to the orbiting complex at 12:04 a.m. local time. In fact, Venkateshwar Sharma, former director of ISRO, is joining us live on this broadcast. A very good morning to you, Mr. Sharma. SpaceX's Dragon capsule has finally docked with the International Space Station. What follows after the docking process?
Good morning to you and all the viewers. Yes, after the docking happens, the 4 astronauts from the crew service module of Crew-10 will be entering into the space station. And there are already 4 astronauts in ISS. They have to hand over the charge and take over. And handing over happens. The entire system of taking over takes about 1 or 2, 3 days. And by the time the crew, which has to come back, including Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore, will be ready for packing up and coming back to home, is the process which happens during handing over and taking over. Of course, ISS is not something which is just like that going around. It needs to be maneuvered. It needs to be managed, and it also needs to be thoroughly upkeep. Therefore, these 4 astronauts who have gone now into the ISS, they will take over and do all those activities which the present crew was doing it.
Right, Mr. Sharma, stay on with us because we have that particular video where you can clearly see how the SpaceX's Dragon capsule docked with the International Space Station.
Traveling with a range rate of less than 0.082, which, as you mentioned earlier, it continues to get slower and slower as we make this final approach.
5 meters.
Copy, 5 meters.
So the next call we should hear is chop, or that crew hands-off period, followed moments later by docking.
That typically comes at about 2 meters away from the International Space Station. Right now, we're less than 4 meters away. Less than 3 meters away.
2 meters, please hands off.
Copy, hands off.
And there is the chop call.
Standing by for initial contact of Dragon to the International Space Station.
Dragon contact and soft capture complete.
And there you heard Dragon has successfully docked to the International Space Station. We have contact and soft capture confirmed.
Now, viewers, we have Venkateshwar Sharma, former Deputy Director, ISRO, as well as B.R. Guru Prasad, former ISRO scientist, with us. Firstly, let me go across to Mr. Guru Prasad. Sir, the docking is successful. What are the primary and preliminary checks that are conducted after the docking is, after the docking process is done? Because there are several leak tests and pressurization checks that will be done. If you could take our viewers through the processes that follow.
Yeah, good morning to all of you. It's a very nice thing for us Indians to know that Crew-10, the Crew Dragon spacecraft carrying Crew-10, has docked with the International Space Station ISS. And okay, as you mentioned that now leak checks are being done. It has to be extremely carefully done because any air leaks out means that is the end of it. So that is to be done, and any the thing is fumes kind of thing, which are harmful or irritating. Such things, if they are there, those things have to be purged out. That kind of things will be done. And another thing is before all these things are done, it is made sure that both the spacecraft have docked firmly, in the sense without any problem. So these are the things which are done. And, the astronauts have to get ready themselves for entering to the International Space Station. Though the ambience is similar or almost the same, yet there are a little bit of differences. So these four astronauts, two of them Americans, both are ladies, and a Japanese and a Russian cosmonaut and a Japanese astronaut, they are going to enter the International Space Station to meet not four, actually 7 people are there already in the International Space Station. So for a while there will be a lot of people, and then as was mentioned earlier, the Sunita and Butch, whatever functions they were performing, there will be an overlap of about 2 days, and they are going to brief thoroughly the incoming group of astronauts as to how to manage the International Space Station. One of the reasons why Sunita was kept there was that in addition to living in the space station, it has to be maintained very well. So that is a prerequisite. So all these things will be done. And after 2 days, Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore and 2 more people who were part of Crew-9 in this one SpaceX capsule, Crew Dragon capsule that docked with the International Space Station in September 2024. And these 4, Sunita, Butch, and these 2 will enter and they will come back. So that is the schedule. Everything has to be planned meticulously. Everything has to be done in a systematic way. And NASA is very adept at doing these things because they have enormous experience in human spaceflight, especially in the space station operations from 1998 when the first module of the International Space Station was launched. That was actually Russian, but then the American one. But they have plenty of experience. So I'm sure that everything will go well. Thank you.